Welcome back to another Bourbon Bums review presented by Greene Valley Wine and Spirits, 344 Commons Drive in Bolingbrook, Illinois. I am Bologna. I am here with my gracious host, the original Mr. Joey P., my hermano.
Hermano, welcome to the P household. It's a pleasure having you. Let's do some Bourbon Bum stuff here with some of this Booker's here. So let's see the last Booker's released here in 2020, this past 2024. Let's read the stats on this one.
All right, so this is Booker's Jimmy's Batch. So this is a tribute to Jimmy Russell of Wild Turkey fame, the legend himself. So this is the No family doing a tribute to Jimmy Russell of Wild Turkey. We've got a 62.9 alcohol by volume. That is 125.8 proof. The age on it is 7 years, 9 months, 19 days. They give you up to the day. They don't want to skimp out on any days. That's crazy.
Now I'm curious about the hour down to the second.
Yeah, what the time? We need the time at this point. And then so the backstory, they give you a really good backstory. We're not going to get into it, but basically the Noes and the Russells have been friends for, decades at this point. Both legendary families in the whiskey game, especially in Kentucky. A couple distillers notes the fourth and final batch of Booker's Bourbon for 2024 is a tribute to a cherished friend of the No family. So 12% of this came from the fifth floor of the 7th-story warehouse Z. 20% came from 5th floor, 7th-story warehouse I. 46% is from the 3rd floor of the 7th-story warehouse 3. And the final 22% is from the 4th floor of the warehouse Q. Does that matter whatsoever? We're going to find out. I imagine. So I'm going to ask you, Joey, to kick it off. You've had a little bit of this bottle.
Yes, I have.
We've talked about it on the Bourbon Bums videos, how Booker's batches they're wildly volatile from release to release. But knowing that this is a tribute to a legend like Jimmy Russell, I have a feeling they can't mess this up.
They can't mess this up, and I can assure you that they didn't. I was pleasantly surprised. As you see, I was able to go ahead and pop this bottle. As soon as I got it, I was excited. And once I did experience what Booker's put together in their tribute for Jimmy, he should be very proud.
All right, so let's get to the nose on this baby. 7 years, almost close to 8 years. You don't get that much color on it, but it's a good amount of darkness to it. So, this is my first time trying it. We poured it about 5 minutes ago, but I haven't had any yet. This is my first nose of the day as well. It's got that classic Knob Creek kind of like peanutty, chocolatey aspect to it. I raved about Booker's The Reserves batch last year as one of our whiskeys of the year. And the reason I liked it so much was because of like peanut butter or peanut M&M aspect to it. Right off the nose, I get a lot of that. A good amount of brown sugar. Smells good. It doesn't smell like 125 proof whiskey. I don't get any of that ethanol or any of that burn. Just classic Knob Creek nose.
I get a little fruit on this too.
Yeah? What do you got going on?
Like almost like a red Washington apple almost.
Ooh, I like that. Red apple. I like that.
Yeah.
I could dig that. I could dig that a lot. All right, so before we get to the taste, we're going to play a quick ad from our friends at Greene Valley Wine and Spirits.
Greene Valley Wine and Spirits in Bolingbrook is the best liquor store in the southwest suburbs. Come see their newly expanded and remodeled location for all your liquor needs. They have a great craft beer selection, an ever-expanding portfolio of tequilas and bourbon, and a new wine rack showcasing the best wines around. And while you're there, stop by their newly added tasting bar to try all the Bourbon Bum store picks before you buy. That's Greene Valley Wine and Spirits, 344 Commons Drive at the corner of Route 53 and I-55 in Bolingbrook. And tell them the bum sent you.
All right, thank you, Greene Valley. Let's get to why I came here is to drink a bunch of your booze, Joey.
Let's do it.
Salud.
Salud.
Wow. Yeah. That's really good. That's really good. Like I said before, there's some really good Booker's batch out there. Maybe like 2-3 years, they had a lot of good ones. Of late, there's been some highs and lows. Chocolate. Yeah. I get chocolate. I get a little bit of peanut, not too much peanut, not like crazy amounts of Jim Beam peanut. But there's like a burnt sugar, burnt caramel aspect to it. I want to say like, all right, so I'm gonna toss this out there. You know, like the caramelized, like burnt sugar at the bottom of like a flan.
Yes.
I get some of that.
Yes.
And it's delicious.
A delicious Mexican dessert. And that's exactly what it tastes like. Yes.
Other than that, the finish is solid. There's a little bit of cinnamon. I get a little bit of cinnamon at the end of this. Along with the black pepper and all of the classic, you know, like higher proof finish notes. I don't get any of the Washington apple on the taste. I got it on the nose, like you mentioned.
Right.
I don't get much of that, but it's almost like burnt sugar, burnt caramel, and then chocolate. That's really, really good.
Yeah. It's got a good mouthfeel too. It's a little bit, for me, a little dry on the palate when at first, but then the second and then my third try was out of this world for me.
Yeah.
When it came to, you know, mouthfeel.
Yeah, and like we mentioned, right? Like you're honoring Jimmy Russell. You put it out there for everyone in the world to see. It would be a disservice to your own brand if they messed that up.
Correct.
So I can unequivocally say they didn't. This is one of the better Booker's batches that they've come out with within the last 2 years or so. I like it. If we got to give it a letter grade, oh no, we're not doing letter grades anymore. We've changed it for 2025. We're going back to the Portnoy pizza scale.
Going pizza.
We're going numbers and decimals. I'll let my guest, which I'm a guest at your house, but you're the guest on the Bourbon Bums. I'll let Joey go first.
Okay. I will give it an 8.1. I give it an 8.1.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm going a little bit lower, but still a very good grade, 7.9. I think 7.9 is pretty good for this. I think it's a fair grade. This last sip right now, this last little sip I had, gave me a wave of like old Granddad 114.
Yes.
so you know, old Granddad 114. That's, you know, like a $40 bottle or less. Sometimes it's cheaper. Yeah. This bordering on $100 or so.
Yes.
So is it fair to be like, oh man, we maybe just go grab a old Granddad 114? No, that's unfair to say. But I just got a wave of that, and I figured I should mention it. Yeah, 7.9 is fair. I like it. Would I buy a bottle? Maybe if I see one at like my local bodega or my local liquor store.
Absolutely.
I think it's worth having, especially, you know, because of the sentimental value that it's a tribute to Jimmy Russell. I like it. All right, Joey, thank you so much for having me.
It's an honor.
Spoiler alert, going forward, you're going to see a lot more of this background right here because we've got some bourbon content coming your way. We also have tequila content. That's why I'm here. So going forward on the Chicago Sports Bums channel, we are going to stick to our regular Bourbon Bums reviews. We're not going to skip out on any of those, but we're adding on some tequila bums content because me being from Jalisco, you, my friend, you know, knowing, I mean, you hit the ground running with the tequila to the point where I was like, I got to come over, pick his brain on some stuff. So we got that going forward. So thank you, Joey. Thank you, Greene Valley Wine and Spirits, as always. Thank you guys for watching, commenting, hit the like button, all of that stuff. And if you're so inclined, we have some merch that you're able to click right there. Some Bourbon Bums content, some Bourbon Bums merch. If you feel like a couple 2 Trees shirts, that goes a long way in paying for not only our bottles, but the content, the StreamYards, all the things that come with making the content. But thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time for another Bourbon Bums or Tequila Bums review.